Blackmores is cutting its workforce. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from news.com.au, which is discussing Blackmores and their cuts to their workforce in Australia and New Zealand. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the brand. We've seen them all in the shopping centres, or the shops, pharmacies, vitamins. An interesting thing, I prefer to get my vitamins in a bioavailable form. And Rachel did she found a good book while she was pregnant, all about diets. And one thing that was quite fascinating was that certain things taken in combination, calcium and iron, can offset each other, where other things taken in combination can provide a benefit. So some of these, particularly the multivitamins, it's a complete joke how it can even potentially work. Some of it will counteract each other, and then the availability of some of these artificially produced vitamins as opposed to real ones that you find in food. Yeah. Anyway, I suggest you have a look into it, guys, if you're spending a fortune on this stuff, because here's a little hint, Humans have kind of lasted a long time before these bottles of pills were around. Like a very little bit of time. So you can see how I don't waste much money on it, to be honest. Vitamins colossal Blackmores will slash about 10% of its workforce in Australia and New Zealand under a restructure, saying it will reinvest in growth markets in Asia. So 10% of its workforce. The company made the announcement while booking a 66% slide in reported net profit in 2019-2020 to 18.1 million. Well, they need to push. I mean, I would be shocked if this business isn't really pushing veganism and vegetarianism, because that's a good source of revenue for them. You want these people to be eating these diets, because then they'll all top up with pills. Total revenue was down 3%, but up 30% in international markets. Chief Executive Alistair Symington said that came despite unprecedented disruption caused by the pandemic. We are making good progress in China with strong leadership in place, and for the first time, in-market dedicated resources who are close to our Chinese consumers and using insights for our new product innovation pipeline, he said. The company plans to become a vertically integrated business, which means owning or controlling the supply chain, not just manufacturing the product. Well, that's one way to grow your business, to continue growing during challenging times, is to get that pipeline. And that makes sense. The strategy would come with a higher operating cost in the short term, Blackmores said. It said the job losses will be partly offset by investment in roles in Asia and strategic priorities across the globe. Yes, but that wouldn't really help you if you're working for Blackmores in Australia or New Zealand, and now you're in the chopping block and you're all getting lined up. Oh, well, I'm sure they'll take solace in the fact that there'll be strategic positions or other roles over in Asia. Consultations with staff began last week and will be complete next month, the company said. Blackmores said Chinese shoppers represent almost 1/4 of all Australian vitamin and dietary supplement retail sales in the 2019 calendar year, but fell to 16% in the 6 months to June 30 this year as travel stopped due to the pandemic restrictions. I mean, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you buy this stuff? This doesn't look like food to me. This is just manufactured goop. And they fortify it with vitamins to get you to buy these magic pills. I mean, I can understand if you have a deficiency, this is one way to address that deficiency. And the doctor can just prescribe it and you take a pill. I think the only thing I'd ever looked at consuming would be MCT oil, medium chain triglycerides extracted from coconut, And that was because it was a super high fat product. Well, no, it's a 100% fat product and great for when you're in ketosis and want a little pickup. But, you can get all of this from food. You can get all of this from food. And people have. But let me know. Because one thing, we live in the Asian part of the Brisbane here. And I was walking to the local shops. And there was this health food shop. A health food shop. And it was nothing but pills after pills after pills after pills of just health food. Aisles upon aisles of different pills that you could buy to make yourself feel better. One here, one there, one there. I mean, do people honestly think that popping some pills is going to make them healthy? Perhaps walking or exercise would. Or having a healthier diet. So, I mean, let me know. If you're a fan of it and you swear by it, let me know. And how do you know it's not the placebo effect? That's the other thing. It could just be the placebo effect, which is very powerful and very effective. I mean, if it works for you, go ahead. So despite the increase in domestic consumption, it was not enough to offset this volume loss, the company said. So they're essentially significantly dependent on tourism, on Chinese tourism here in Australia. Who would have thought a vitamin company in Australia would be linked to the tourism sector so heavily, so dependent on the tourism sector, which has pretty much been put on hold. And this is the thing, when all of these economic issues appear, when parts of the economy get shut down, when travel gets shut down, this is showing you the flow-through effect. We now have job losses occurring at a vitamin manufacturer in Australia and New Zealand, 10%, and part of that is due to a decline in Chinese tourism here in Australia. Wow. There you have it. This is the unintended consequences. So its online retail market share in China rose by 2% in the second half of 2019-2020, while sales rose in Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. Blackmores has decided against paying a final dividend amid ongoing economic uncertainty. Well, let's have a look at the Blackmores share price. We can see, I mean, there you go. It's now down at 67. Its 52-week high was at $95.68. Its 52-week low was at $59.84. Let's have a look, jump out to where was it in February. There you go. So it was nearly at that high in February, and it just tanked. And it still hasn't really recovered. Dividend of $3.24%. What do you think? What do you think, everyone? P to E of 31.49. I guess people like their vitamins. I remember when I was at the Brisbane Club, I was sitting in the shared space where you could work, and there was some people talking about one of the Blackmores, or one of these senior vitamin companies, and a business group was giving him an award. Talking to him over the phone, I heard the discussion. What was interesting, how this vitamin spruiker, he got around all of and it was the holistic medicine, all this stuff. He got around all of the requirements and issues with, approvals and concerns from the medical industry by his political relationships, because he'd travel on the trains all around and get to know all of the politicians. Funny that, huh? So what do you all think, everyone? Are you a fan of Blackmores? Are you popping your vitamins every morning? Or you like me and just eat food? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there's a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, and I will see you all next time.